Hello everyone, welcome back to FreeCodeCamp, and today we're going to be doing the review DOM manipulation by building a rock, paper, scissors game. This is part of the JavaScript algorithms and data structures certification. You can find the previous courses on my channel that are completely done. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe and like if you find it helpful. So it says in our previous project, we learned how to work with the basic DOM manipulation. Now it's time to learn how to build the rock, paper, scissors game. So in this mini project, we're going to be learning conditionals, functions, getElementById, and more. So let's start the project. This is how the project will look. Uh, it says let's play rock, paper, scissors, rules of the game. That has a drop down. And also we get to choose, and this is versing a computer. So let's say I choose rock. It'll be a tie. Now I use rock again, and we win. So it's the basic rock, paper, scissors game. So now in step one, it says first step is to build out the function that will generate a random choice for the computer. So the get random computer result function will be used to get the computer choice, and then inside the function we should see options, rock, paper, and scissors. So our task is to complete the get computer result function so it returns a random option array. So we have this function called get random computer results. Inside we have an options array with rock, paper, scissors. So now it wants us to return a random option from the options array. So we could use something like math.random and math.floor to help us get a random whole number, which will represent the index of the options array. And we can also use the random index to access the option from the options array. So we could do something like this. So return math.floor, which will help us get a whole number. And then inside here we have the math.random, which will give us a random number. Oh, if I can spell that right. And so let's just multiply this. So math.random times 3 and see what the results we will get. So we get 2, 1, and we can see the options right here. We are now getting 0, 1, 2, 3. So we're getting 0, 1, and 2. And now we could use this. So now we could use, so if I do remove this from the return and write let index equal, so now we have this 0, 1, 2, or 3, I mean 0, 1, or 2 inside our index. Now we could use this index to get a random option. So 0 would be rock, 1 will be paper, and 2 will be scissors in this case. Now we could do a return, options, and then we can use the square brackets and write index in here. So now if I do click check our code, we do get random, we either get rock, paper, or scissors. So now in step 2, it says in the game there will be multiple rounds. So the first round to reach 3 points wins the game. So in this step, we want to focus on determining if a player has won the round. So we're going to complete has player won round function. This function has two parameters, player and computer. So we can see that over here. And the function should return true if the player has won, and false if the player has lost or tied the round. So here's the criteria for the player to win the round. So if the paper chooses if the I said paper if the player chooses rock, the computer chooses scissors. And if the player chooses scissors, the computer chooses rock. And then if the player chooses paper and the computer chooses rock, these are all conditions for us for the player to win. So what we could do here is if player So we're going to use the if statements over here, and we're just going to do what this criteria asks us for. So we could determine who won. So we do if player equal rock string, and it should be a capital R. So if computer, so rock, just like this, and computer is equal to scissors, then we will return a true, because over here it says that the function should return true if the player has won the round and false if the player has lost or tied. So now we could do something like this. Now we're gonna have our second. We're gonna move on to our second, which is if player equal, and I'm gonna move the space between if is equal to scissors, and by using the double and sign. So and play computer is strictly equal to paper, then we will return true again. Now for the last one, if player is strictly equal to paper and computer chooses rock, so computer is strictly equal to rock, we will return a true. And there's also another way to just see if this works, and then I can show you a different way, which will keep it at one line. And now we want to have a else and false, return false. Just like this. Now if we check the code, everything should be working. In another case, we could do this. We could also do this. So I'm gonna comment this out, and we could do something like this. So if player is equal rock, so we're working on this first criteria, and so I'm just gonna copy and paste this over since it is gonna be the same. So I could just copy and paste this, and then we could have the or sign just like this, or player is equal to scissors and computer is equals to paper, or if player is equal to paper and computer is equal to rock, then we're gonna return true. Else we could return false. So I'm gonna keep it the same way it was. So I'm just gonna Control Z to undo and just keep it the way it was. So now for step 3, it says now it's time to get the result of the round. So we're gonna complete the get round results function. So it wants to check if the player has won, update the score by 1, and then return this message, and then if it's tied, return a message, and then if computer wins, we're going to update the score by 1 and return this message. And we're going to use the has player won the round, which was in the last step. So what we could do over here is if has player won the round, and let's take parameters. So the parameters it takes is the player and the computer results. In order to get these results, we're using the user option and computer result here. So it's taking player and computer results. So we could have player results will be user option, and then computer result will be computer result. Just like this. And now it's going to tell, so now it's saying that if, so now it's saying, so let me just put a comment saying player has won the round. So this is saying that the player has won the round. And if they have won the round, we're going to update the score and we're going to return a message. So now we're gonna update the score by, if we go up, they have variables here, player score is equal to 0 and computer score is equal to 0. So we can use these variables to update them. Now we can do player score plus plus, and this is the same thing as doing either player score is equal to player score plus 1, or we could also do player score plus equals 1. So these are different ways of doing it. We're just going to keep it to the plus plus. And now we're going to return a message. So we can do return. We're going to use temporary literals here. And in this case, we're going to type in player wins. And then we show the player choice and beats the computer choice. So I'm just going to copy and paste that here. So player wins. Now in order to get the player choice, we put that $sign and the curly braces. And inside here, we could use a user option, which will be the player choice. So something like this. And now we're going to do the same thing for the computer choice. So we can type computer choice, just like this. So now we want to check if it is a tie. So in order to do that, we could do, so we have this if, and this is where the if ends for the player has won the round. So now we want to check it's a tie. So now we could write if, or we could write else if so we have the user option here and the computer result. So now we could type here, we could type user option is equal to computer option result, I mean, just like this. And if this is true, then we're just going to return a template literal again with the black ticks. It's a tie, and so I'm just going to copy it's a tie, and both choose then in this case they're using player choice, but we can also use computer choice, will be the same result. So in order to put this player choice, we're going to use the $sign and the curly braces, and we're just going to write user option just like this. And then now if we type else, so now we want to check, oops, so let's see, so now over here we can write else, or let me just add a comment, so computer has won the round. Now in order to get this, we can just write else. Since this is we already have the player has won the round and it's a tie. Now our else will just be if the player has not won the round or it's not a tie. Now else we're gonna update the score of the computer by 1, and we're gonna return a message saying the computer has won. And so now we're gonna update the score of the computer. We can use the same thing. So we do computer result, or not computer result, up here computer score. So computer score plus plus, and now we're gonna return a message same way. So we're gonna do a return and backticks, and inside here we can just copy and paste computer wins and then computer choice beats player choice, just like this, and replace the computer choice. So over here will be computer result and beats user option, just like this. So now if I do check this code, the function should return the correct message. Let me just console log this. Saying computer choice is not defined. Computer result. Oh, over here I wrote computer choice. It should be computer result in the player has won the round if. So complete a result just like this. Now if I check, everything should be passing. So now step 4, it's time to update the scores and the round's result message. So we're going to complete the show result function, and the player score span element and the computer score span element should update to show the updated scores of the player. So the result or round result message should also update with the result of the round. So now remember that we learned how to use the inner text property to update the text content of an element. We could also use the getRoundResult function to get the result of the round. So this is our getRoundResult, and over here it wants a user option. So it wants us to complete the function. So the player score span element is, so we're gonna just update it to show the updated scores of the player and computer. So now we can do another if, and in this if we're gonna use the get round result. So now if get round result, and here it's gonna take a parameter of user option. So now we would just update the text content in the element. So since we have the elements over here by the document.getElementById, we could just do something like this. We could do if get round result user option. It's gonna say first it's gonna check if the, so it's gonna tell me who has won. So in this case we could just we do player score span element dot inner text is equal is over here. So over here is just returning. Oh, so over here is just returning who has won the round. And then we do have this player score and computer score. So we could do player score span element.innerText is equal, and we use our template literal here and write player score. And we're gonna do the same thing as we're gonna do the same thing for computer score. So computer score span element dot inner text, which is gonna be equal to a backtick. Inside here we could just have computer score. And now we just want to return the result. So we do round results message dot inner text is equal, and we gonna make this equal to whoever has won the round. We just do get round result function, which will take in the user option. So get round results, and it's not working because we don't have the backticks here. So make sure you have the backticks. And I don't think we need this if statement, so we can just remove this if statement, and this should work. So for the player score span element inner text, we're just using the player score variable because this function over here, this function show results is after our get results. So we get the results first, and in this get results function, it updates the score already. So if the player has won, the let player score will be 1 over here, and then we just update it over here. So that's how we can use the player score and the computer score. But if this show result was before this get round results, then it won't work. And then for the round results message, we're just getting the round results and just inputting the user option. And then this round results function just tells us, just returns the message if the player wins, or if it's a tie, or if the computer wins. So now, step 5, it says if we try to play the game, we could see that you could play it infinity amount of times, but rules state that the first 1 to 3 points wins. So inside our show results function, we will also need to check if the player or computer has reached 3 points. And if either has reached 3 points, you should display a message indicating the winner. So for example, if the player has won 3 games, or that player has won the game, the winner message element should be updated to player has won the game. And if the computer has won, we're gonna update the winner message element to computer has won the game. So if there is a winner, you will want to show the restart game button and hide the options container so the player can't play again. So we could use something like, so the element dot style dot display to show the reset game button and to hide the options container. So it wants us to so so let's open up console, just play the game, and you can see the score is going more than 3. So now inside our show results function, right here on line 39, it says we need to check if the player or computer has reached 3 points. And in order to get the points, we have this computer score and player score. So we could just so before this, actually not even before this, so after all of this, we just write an if statement. If player oops, so let's go back. So now we can just remove this. So if we have, we're gonna just do if player score is equal to 3. We're not gonna have this or. Then we are just gonna update the winner message element. So we're gonna return winner message element and dot inner text, which is gonna be equal to a template literal or backticks, and then inside here we could just have player has won the game. So this is right, player has won the game, just like this. And then we're going to do the same thing for the computer. So in order to check if our computer has won, so now if the computer has won, so we can just write if computer score is equal to 3, then we will return winner message element dot inner text, and here we just type computer has won the game. For some reason I am getting this. Let's write else if, or an else I mean. So else if computer score is equal to 3, then we're just gonna instead of returning, let's just have it so the winner message element just like this dot inner text, and in this case we want to also we want to show the restart game button and hide options container. So we want to show the reset game button. So in order to do that, we could just use this element style display property to show the reset game button and to hide the options container. So in this case, in both, we will just type under this. We'll just type. So this first will be let's just show the reset game button. So in the reset game button dot style dot display which is going to be equal to, in this case we could just do display inline, and then for our options container we want to hide it, so dot style dot display, and it's going to be hidden. And now we're just going to copy and paste this into our computer scores, same thing, and we're going to check. You should hide the if the player or computer has reached 3. Oh, it should be display none for the options container. And this should show. In order to show it, we just leave it as an empty string. Now step 6 and the last step, it says if the player or computer has won the game, there should be an option to reset the game and play again. So we're gonna complete the reset game function that accomplishes the following. It resets the player and computer scores to 0. So let's do it one by one. So in this function, we're just gonna have it so player score and computer score. So we could write player score is equal to 0 and computer score is equal to 0, and that will reset the players and computer score. We're going to update the player score span element and the computer score span element to display the new scores. So in this case, we have this computer score span element and also the player score span element. So we can just take this, and under this, we could just write player score span element dot inner text is equal, and this is going to be equal, and we're going to use our template backticks with template literal of player score. And in this case, this player score is coming from inside the function, not the let player score over here. And the same thing for the computer score span element dot inner text, which is going to be equal to a template literal of computer score, and this reference to the computer score inside our function. And then we're going to hide the reset game button. So we could just do, it should really come here, hide reset game button, just like this. And over here, we're updating the score display, and over here, resetting the scores. Now we want to hide the reset game button. In order to do this, we have this reset game button, which we're using document.getElementById to get. So we could just do reset game button dot style dot display style dot display, and this is going to be equal to none, and this will hide it. And then we're going to show the options container, and in order to show the options container, so show options container, in order to do this, we do options container dot style dot display, which is going to be equal to empty string, and that will display it. And then we're going to set the round result message and the winner result message to an empty string. So in order to get the round result message and the winner's message element, we will take it from here, which we're using document.getElementById to get. So now we're gonna set round message and winner message to empty string. Just like this. So in order to do this, we do round results message dot inner text, which is going to be equal to an empty string, just like this. And we're going to do the same thing for the winner message. So winner message element dot inner text is going to be equal to an empty string. And once we have applied those changes, we have completed the rock, paper, scissors game. So if I do check the code, everything should be working perfectly fine. So now if I click rock, it's a tie. As now everything is displayed perfectly. And let's see if it works if I reach to 3. And yep, we do see everything is working. And now if I click play again, it should reset the score, update the player scores right here, player scores element, and we shouldn't see this play again button, and it should open the container. And we shouldn't see these messages anymore else. So if I play again and it does reset, everything seems to be working perfectly fine. So if you guys have enjoyed the video, Please subscribe and like if you find it helpful. Thank you.